Hi, and welcome to today's daily reading, which is for the 18th of March. And today's reading is coming from Each Day a New Beginning, Daily Meditations for Women, and March the 18th. Let me just move this around. Noble deeds and hot baths are the best cures for depression. And that's a quote from someone called Dodie Smith. Depression feeds on itself. With attention, it worsens, but there are places for our attention. We can move our focus to a woman who is close by, a woman who is struggling to determine her direction in life. We can offer our ears, or we can observe attentively today all the women, children, and men we see on the streets. When we notice their expressions, we realize they too may be suffering. Doing something for someone else will lessen our own problems, no matter what the cause. In fact, just doing something will lift our spirits. Depression becomes habitual, and habits, even those that are detrimental, are easy to hang on to. When we take an action, even a small one, we can note the change. Action that brings another is guaranteed to benefit us as well. Depression does get worse with self-pitying attention, however. Attention to ourselves that is nurturing has its place. We can pamper ourselves, but not pity ourselves. Pampering reflects approval, caring, self-respect, three attitudes inconsistent with depression. Even more than inconsistent, pampering and depression are incongruent. Depression must be coddled to maintain it. It's my choice to move beyond it at any moment. I can put something besides my problem at my centre today and enjoy the results. Well, there's something for discussion. Depression. I was talking about depression when I was teaching this morning and saying that depression is just a word. People come to me for batch flowers and they will say, I'm depressed, can you help? And yes, I can help, but depression feels differently for everyone. So what I need from a client or a friend or one of my family members is how they are feeling. What does depression mean to them? How does depression feel for them? Because it feels different for everybody. We have our own unique interpretation of depression. So, I was on antidepressants 3 times more than 20 years ago, and they had their place. I wasn't coping, I wasn't feeling good, and the antidepressants didn't make me feel good. They just stopped me feeling bad. In fact, they probably stopped me feeling very much. And I didn't want to be on them, so I would try to come off them. And luckily for me, the third round of antidepressants didn't work. And that was when I fell apart because I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? There's nothing, this isn't working, and I feel dreadful. And that's when I entertained the notion that batch flowers were worth a try. They were the last gasp, they were the last resort. I was on my knees and I needed something. So, my depression, how was it? It was a sense of not being able to cope, which would be different from someone's depression who was wallowing in self-pity. There's, antidepressants. People get put on antidepressants for so many different reasons. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, is because the family doctor doesn't have the time, much as they would love to have the time, doesn't have the time to sit and have a conversation with you about how you're really feeling and what's going on in your life. So something to think about today. If you suffer from depression, I'm not knocking antidepressants in any way, shape or form, but I kind of tag myself as a natural or alternative to antidepressants because I've used them myself for that very reason for the last 22 years. I haven't had antidepressants in 22 years. I am not happy singing all the time, far from it, but I have not needed to go on antidepressants because the batch flowers have managed to bring me back into balance when I am way out of balance, which I do get. So my 5 minutes are up, unfortunately. Depression, think about it today. Do you know anyone who suffers from it? What is their feeling? What is their feeling? Are they the victim? Are they, morose? Or are they just not coping? Is there another way for them to cope without antidepressants? Anyway, goodbye, namaste, and sending love out to you all.